Sergio Perez's time at Red Bull has been a roller coaster ride, with a promising start quickly giving way to a series of underwhelming performances. What began as an ideal partnership with Max Verstappen has evolved into a constant struggle for survival. Once seen as the perfect teammate, Perez's journey at one of F1's top teams has been anything but smooth. From technical challenges to team dynamics and relentless pressure, his career at Red Bull has faced multiple obstacles. In this video, we'll dive deep into the factors that contributed to the unraveling of Checo's Red Bull tenure and examine what went wrong for the Mexican driver. Before we delve into his struggles at Red Bull, it's crucial to understand how Sergio Perez earned his place on one of F1's top teams. Perez's Formula One journey began in 2011 with Sauber, where his natural talent for tire management and race strategy first came to light. His performances in lower-tier teams like Force India, later Racing Point, solidified his reputation as a consistent and dependable driver. Perez's career reached a defining moment in 2020. Racing Point, a team with limited resources, delivered a competitive car, and Perez made the most of it. His maiden victory at the Sauber Grand Prix, where he recovered from last place to first, was a masterclass in resilience and strategic brilliance. This win, coupled with his consistent podium finishes, put him on Red Bull's radar after they decided to replace Alex Albon for the 2021 season. Perez's debut season with Red Bull in 2021 was greeted with optimism. For the first time, he had a car capable of competing for podiums and wins regularly. More importantly, Red Bull needed a second driver who could provide consistent support to Max Verstappen in the Constructors' Championship battle against Mercedes. In his first year, Perez delivered several noteworthy performances. His defensive driving against Lewis Hamilton in Turkey and Abu Dhabi was instrumental in Verstappen's title-winning campaign. He secured a vital win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Sergio Perez wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix!
And showcased his adaptability in a car that many considered challenging for newcomers. At this stage, Perez's role as a team player seemed clear. He wasn't expected to match Verstappen, but to provide reliable backup. Red Bull finally appeared to have broken their second driver curse. Despite the initial success, cracks began to form as early as 2022. While Verstappen adapted seamlessly to Red Bull's evolving car dynamics, Perez struggled to keep up. This was most evident in qualifying, where Checo often started several positions behind his teammate. In a team where grid position is paramount, these gaps were magnified. Red Bull's car design philosophy also played a role. The RB18 and its successors were built to suit Verstappen's aggressive driving style. For Perez, who favored a smoother and more conservative approach, this meant an uphill battle. As the car became faster but more challenging to handle, Checo's performances became increasingly inconsistent. Although Perez claimed a brilliant victory at the 2022 Monaco Grand Prix,
it's Perez in the Principality! He wins the Monaco Grand Prix!
His overall pace lagged behind Verstappen's. By the end of the season, Red Bull had secured both championships, but the disparity between their drivers was clear. The 2023 season was a make-or-break year for Perez, but it quickly turned into a nightmare. Early wins in Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan suggested that Checo might finally pose a challenge to Verstappen. However, this momentum evaporated as the season progressed. Perez's main issue in 2023 was his qualifying performances. While Verstappen was consistently on pole or near the front row, Perez often found himself starting outside the top 10. This compromised his races, forcing him into recovery drives and making it nearly impossible to challenge for wins or podiums. Furthermore, Verstappen's dominance only amplified the pressure on Perez. By mid-season, Verstappen was breaking records, while Checo was battling for points against midfield teams. Red Bull's management, including Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, grew increasingly vocal about their expectations, further adding to the scrutiny. Red Bull Racing is a team built around a singular focus: winning championships. With Verstappen as their clear #1 driver, the role of the second driver has always been secondary. This dynamic creates a challenging environment for anyone partnering with Verstappen. For Perez, this meant limited room for error. Verstappen's sheer pace often left Perez looking inadequate by comparison, and any mistakes on Checo's part were magnified by the media. The psychological toll of being constantly compared to a generational talent cannot be understated. Internal team politics also played a role. While Red Bull publicly supported Perez, the underlying message was clear. Results were non-negotiable. When those results didn't come, speculation about replacements, including drivers like Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda, intensified. In the high-stakes world of Formula One, public perception can be just as influential as on-track results. For Perez, the constant scrutiny from fans and the media added another layer of pressure. Social media platforms were filled with debates about his future, and every mistake was dissected in excruciating detail. This scrutiny wasn't limited to fans. Former drivers and pundits frequently weighed in, questioning Perez's ability to retain his Red Bull seat. The unrelenting spotlight undoubtedly affected his confidence, contributing to a vicious cycle of poor performances and mounting criticism. Perez's predicament is not an isolated case in the history of Red Bull racing. The team is notorious for its high-pressure environment and its swift decision-making when it comes to underperforming drivers. Since its entry into Formula One in 2005, Red Bull has established a reputation for cultivating top-tier talent through its junior program, but has also faced criticism for the way it handles drivers who fail to meet its lofty expectations. Daniel Ricciardo, for instance, is one of the most prominent examples of this ruthless approach. Ricciardo was promoted to Red Bull Racing in 2015, replacing Sebastian Vettel. While he managed 2 podiums in his debut season, a series of errors early in 2016, including a collision with Sebastian Vettel in Russia, led to his sudden demotion back to Toro Rosso after just 4 races. Ricciardo's tenure at the senior team lasted only 23 races, making him one of the shortest-serving drivers in Red Bull history. Pierre Gasly faced a similar fate. Promoted to Red Bull in 2019 after an impressive stint with Toro Rosso, Gasly struggled to match Max Verstappen's pace. Over 12 races, he averaged a deficit of over 0.5 seconds per lap to Verstappen in qualifying and failed to secure a single podium finish. By mid-season, Gasly was demoted back to Toro Rosso and replaced by Alex Albon. Albon's time at Red Bull mirrored these challenges. Joining the team in mid-2019, he initially showed promise.
The time I joined the Red Bull program would be 2008. My best memory would be...
but failed to deliver consistent results in 2020. Over the season, he managed only 2 podium finishes, while Verstappen regularly fought for wins. Red Bull replaced Albon with Perez for 2021, relegating him to a reserve role. The story of Sergio Perez's Red Bull stunt is a cautionary tale with valuable lessons for both drivers and teams. For drivers, it underscores the importance of adaptability and mental resilience in high-pressure environments. For teams, it raises questions about the sustainability of creating an environment that prioritizes one driver at the expense of the other. Perez's downfall also highlights the importance of communication and support within a team. Could Red Bull have done more to help Perez adapt? These are questions that will likely remain unanswered. Sergio Perez's time at Red Bull Racing was filled with ups, downs, and valuable lessons. Though it didn't end the way he might have wanted, Checo proved his determination and ability to perform under pressure. His efforts went beyond race results, earning him admiration from fans all over the world for his passion and resilience. Thanks for joining us to explore this journey. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories of Formula One.